Good morning, friends, followers, channel members. Welcome back to Africa. Today we're going to be flying out of Africa. How long did I work on that? Out of Africa. Oh, great piece of music as well. Yeah, indeed, we are back in Enfidah. I just realised the top overlay isn't working, so just bear with me a minute. One of the great things about this is the overlay doesn't actually recognise Enfidah as an airport, so I have to quickly search for that. Hammamet Airport is indeed recognised, but it gives it a really daft code. Thankfully, Geneva is straightforward. Right, our call sign today is, of course, it's a top Swiss call sign. If you are looking at the operational flight plan, however, that is wrong. For some reason, the operational flight plan's got the Easyjet call sign, but of course it's not. We're flying into Geneva. Our call sign is top Swiss 1350, which is a little bit of a mouthful. And I think I've just put the wrong call sign in that as well. Hang on one second. 1350. I'm going to have to check the operational flight plan now to see what's the real call sign. Yeah, 1350, that is correct. That is also pinned at the chat for those of you watching on YouTube. Good morning, everybody. Well, we've got nice weather here today, as you would expect. We're going to try and get into Geneva before thunderstorms that are forecast later in the afternoon start to build. Don't really want thunderstorms in Geneva. There's enough terrain and issues to worry about without throwing thunderstorms in there as well. Good morning to everyone who's coming on board for a chilled out Thursday morning flight. Flight time is around 1 hour 30, no, 1 hour, about 1 hour 45 minutes today. So those passengers get on board nice and early. Good morning, Mark, Red Thread, Fabrice, Fitzy, Jez Davis, hello, Spitfire, Raf, Vino, Barry Bartson, Fabrice. Dark Fury is here as well until he has to go to work. Mark's asked 25k subs today. Do you know, shall we have a check? What are we at? Let's see if we can get an accurate number for you guys. So according to my stats, we are at 24,925, so we need another 75 subs before we hit that magic number. That would be quite a lot to get in a stream, wouldn't it? Paul Newman, good evening to you. Von McLean, hi mate, how you doing? Fitzy says, hold the flight please, having troubles getting through security. Yeah, you and everybody else. Eric Broom, thank you for following on YouTube, and Casual Hello on Twitch. Good morning to you. Nick Burrows, good morning, sir. Paul saying Phoenix is definitely his favourite aircraft in the sim at the moment. Yeah, it's hard to beat, isn't it? Right, and Mr. Kevin, good morning early in the US for you. And Nox Kate, greetings from Ukraine. That is amazing. Welcome on board, mate. I hope you and family are as well as you can be. Really great to have you. I'm really happy to hear that you're on board this morning. Right, our aircraft's first flight of the day. It's cold and dark, so we need to go and do a full setup this morning. So we best jump in, hadn't we? So here we go, yeah, cold and dark. Just before we start adding some power to the aircraft, just check various different things. In particular, as you know, we want to make sure that things like our engine masters and engine mode selectors are normal. Weather radar is off so we don't fry the ground crew. Landing gear lever is indeed down. Check the wipers are both off. Battery power is over 25.5, so excellent. We can now start powering her up. So we'll add some power. The external power is available. There we go. Let's go ahead and get that turned on. Okay, let's go through our flows then. So crew supply, ground control, CRV test. And get the ideas aligned. There we go. And welcome to the Captain's Club, my friend. Thank you so much for your support earlier this morning. And if you're on Discord, don't forget to get yourself in the VIP lounge on our Discord chat. It would be great to have you on there. Thank you again for supporting the channel. That means a lot. Really kind of you. We'll not get the seatbelt signs on yet as we need to refuel. But everything else, I'm going to turn the packs off for the time being. There's our 3 clicks. fuel pumps are off. Let's go ahead and do our APU test. Do you know what? Since I've got the new rig, I haven't checked to see if when I pin these out, our frame rate's now absolutely awful. Yeah, they're still not great. You can see that jerking around all over the place. London controller, how you doing, mate? Are you well? Hope so. Hope so, Jamie. How's life for you? Where are you headed to this morning? You've been doing jury duty, haven't you? Good lord. Hope that went well. Yep, all of those are fine. Get rid of that. Frame rates will be much better now. Right, overhead lights all up there are fine. I can now start the APU. We'll get passengers on board in a minute. Give that a couple of seconds. There we are. So the QNH here in Enfidah, what is it? No idea. We'll go and grab that in a second. All systems are normal. And just going through, check. Hydraulic page is good. Let's just quickly cycle through these. We need to get the fuel loaded in a second. 1800 psi. They're fine, and of course they're not active yet. Great, APU's up and running. Let's go and get the current QNH. Let's see what we've got. We need to start boarding as well as soon as we can, otherwise we're going to be late. We're probably going to be late anyway, let's be honest. 90 minutes, we're going to be late. QNH is 1015, just make a quick note of that. So London controller, Jamie, doing great, thanks. Heading back to P3D today for some 777 ops. That sounds great. I mean, P3D, what? It's never going to be as graphically as impressive, is it? But for actual flight dynamics and things, it's really, really good. Glad you're. I thought you may be on a 2-week service. That would have been long. In some cases, they drag on and on and on, don't they? But thankfully, just a week, and that was it. Great stuff. Fitzy, you've been a member for 16 months. How's it been this long? Love the work, Gav. Fitzy, thank you so much for the last 16 months of support. Really, really kind of you. Indeed, how has it been this long? 1015. Anti-skid is on. Audio control panel is okay. We need to go ahead and set Unicom up for a little bit later on. That's fine. Have we got 1215, the guard frequency? I thought this saved this the other day, actually. There we go. Oh, what happened there? 121.5 VHF2. Transfer that across. There we go. So, well, back to VHF1. VHF, that's okay. Didn't seem to. Didn't transfer that across, I don't think. Yeah, everything down here is fine. Squawking 2000. Let's come up to the FCU. 1015. Pop the constraints on, and our initial climb today is going to be 6000. APU bleed. Let's. Oh, that is already on and running. Right, it's probably quite warm here. What is the ground temperature outside? 30 degrees. Yeah, okay. Let's cool the cabin down, and then we'll start getting the passengers on board. So those packs can now come back on. So fuel, we're going to take 7.5 tons, and oh, where's my? Why is that empty? Do I need to resend the? Do I need to resend the flight plan? Let's try again. Ah, that's better. Yeah, so we're going to take 7.5 tons of fuel, just in case those thunderstorms start to build in Geneva a little later on. There we are. 126 passengers, so we're not very heavy. Right, let's get this aircraft loaded. refueling is underway and the bags are starting to get loaded, so let's open the doors and allow our passengers on board. Thank you.
No problem.
I put the wrong time in when I was creating the operational flight plan a little bit earlier on, which means that we are now 45 minutes delayed. Oh, I'm going to get shouted at by ARPs, aren't I? Once we're in the air. Anyway, let's well, we better crack on. So let's go and have a look at just checking this. Have we got failures turned on? I hope so. Oh no, I don't want manual failures. Oh, what's up with navigation? Oh, it just hasn't aligned yet. Don't worry me like that. Yeah, they're all turned on. Great stuff. So, oh, wrong button. We want to just import this flight init and init data request. There we go. Paul, you'll only get any sort of compensation if we arrive more than 3 hours late. That's not going to happen. 1 hour 43 minutes the flight time. Right, let's go ahead and do our full setup. So IRS is still aligning. We need to check that a little bit later on. Aircraft status, we've got correct engines, valid direct cycle. Let's get our ACARs uplinked. So, call sign is a mouthful. Top Swiss 1350. Let's pop that in, which is Easyjet 1350. Cost index is 8. Cruise flight level today is 380. And that's going to be minus 51. Ground temperature's 30 degrees. It's warm. What time is it in Enfidah? Aren't they on the same time as us? Or they might be an hour or two ahead. Tropo. How high? 52,129. Yeah, we can't get above the weather today. Import the winds. I could just change the scheduled time of departure, Christian. You are quite right. I'll just leave it. I'll let them shout. It was my error. In fact, there's actually a code for this. I put in the wrong departure time in SimBrief, so I can actually use that error code, can't I? IRS init, we can't do that. Oh, yes we can. Yes we can. Let's grab the charts and have a quick look. So we should have, where are we? We're at stand 16. Let's check these out. So 3604.9 north, 36.9 north, and 1026.4 east. Spot on. Right, flight plan today. We're departing runway 27. And I think the wind's from the south, but 27 is the preferential runway here, and it's the VATSIM 1 Delta departure. Insert. And yeah, no turns below 5,000 feet, and we do have a speed restriction as well, but I'll talk more about that in a little while. Let's get the arrival, which is going to be the ILS 22, and that comes in via Kines. And it's the Kines 2 Romeo departure. Arrival, sorry. Kin 2 Romeo. The veer will be, of course, Saprax, or Saint-Prix, as it's actually pronounced. There it is. There's a lot of information on this chart. Yeah, coming via Sierra Papa Romeo. Good stuff. So OFP's got 705 miles, we've got 691, that's pretty close, happy with that. Radnar page, we're already tuned to November Bravo Alpha. I'm just going to hard tune that because we need it for our engine out procedure, so I'll just hard tune that there. Our init B, let's see, grab our load sheets from dispatch. So our zero fuel weight is 55.9, and our zero fuel weight CFG is 32.6. Fuel for the alternate will be, let's call that a ton, should we need it. Fuel planning. So, as long as this is below 7.5 tons, we're good. McWolf on Twitch, thanks for the follow. Oh yeah, plenty. So, we're going to be taking 7.5 tons. Update that. That gives an extra 26 minutes of thinking time. Takeoff weight 63.2. Lovely. Okay, let's go ahead and do our performance. Aaron, hello. What's the best fly-by-wire of Fenix? Oh, for everything that works, it has to be the Fenix. Did you start the route by importing it from SimBrief and add it to the MCP, the main control panel? Basically, I created it in SimBrief and then just imported it on the EFB and the McDo. Right, we need to do our performance, don't we? So that is going to be Tefang. Thank you for the follow on Twitch. That's going to be the wrong app. Let's try this one. So, departing runway 27, of course, it is dry. We can go config 1, no need to force toga, they will of course be off, even the packs will be off for departure. That takeoff weight was 63.2 and the takeoff CFG, what was it, 30.9. 309, grab the live weather. Now, there's a few intersections that could save us a little bit of time here if they are available. Let's just check this out. We're not heavy. Echo and Foxtrot, Echo would be a nice short taxi, wouldn't it? Let's just save a bit of time. Is that available? No, full length it is then. It'd be great if you could actually enter those in, wouldn't it? But never mind. Right, we're going full length today. 138, 140, 141 with a clean speed of 211. Ooh, that's going to become interesting in a minute. 138, 140, 141. And our transition altitude is 6,000. Right, our thrust climb reduction altitudes here are 1013, but it's actually a noise abatement 2 here, so it's going to be 3013 for the acceleration. Engine out though is 1013. Flaps 1 and our flex is 68. That seems quite high. Might just suppose it's warm, isn't it? In fact, it's just got a degree warmer. It's now 31 degrees. I'll just update that, and then we'll do the secondary flight plan. That might be the first time I've seen that actually change on the ground. Felix Bull, hi mate. Good morning or good evening to you. So let's go and do our secondary flight plan for the engine out procedure today. So it's a non-standard one as well. Let's copy our active. So the engine out procedure here for Enfidah runway 27 is 5 miles from the November Bravo Alpha VOR. We make a right-hand turn to Movar and enter the hold. I'm just going to turn that on while I remember. And Jez Davis, mate, welcome to the First Officers Club. Thank you so much for your support of the channel. If you're on our Discord server as well, be sure to make sure you get yourself into the members lounge as well. Thank you, Jez, really kind of you to become a channel member. Do appreciate that. So we're going to continue to fly until this intercept will basically be removed. So what's going to happen is we would fly straight out, and then at 5 miles we'd make a right hand turn to the Movar waypoint. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop in the place, which is the November Bravo Alpha. Now this is going to be interesting. So the bearing will be, yeah, we can use runway, we can use the runway track because it's close enough. So that's going to be 268 and at 5 miles. So let's pop that just there. We're then going to pop in the MOVA holding point. Enter the hold. That inbound course is 235. And the hold consists of left turns. And then from MOVA we would enter the destination back here, which is, what is the ICAO code here? Delta Tango November Hotel. I'm just very unfamiliar with this. Delta Tango November Hotel. We don't fly to Africa very often. And then that will come back in, land runway 27 Yankee? I don't know. What's the difference? Ordinarily I'd opt with the Zulu, but let's find out. That's a DMA arc via MOVA. Oh, yes, it will be the Zulu then. So ILS Zulu 09, and that would be back in via... okay. Why is MOVA not there? There's the initial approach fix. Did I put the right one in? Zulu? Okay, just put Novia. That's fine. Return. Let's check this out. Yeah, that's fair enough. So we would fly straight out and then right hand turn to MOVA. What is this? Place bearing distance is here. Then we've got MOVA. And why is Rasil just there? That shouldn't be there. We've got the go-around track. That's fine. Have we got runway 09 in? Oh, of course we have. It's the runway we landed in yesterday, isn't it? Let's try again. Thank you, guys. No start via MOVA. There it is. Shall we try that instead? Ah, that's better. Oh, my brain wasn't working then. I'm thinking, that doesn't look right, and I can't work out why. I'll try putting the right runway in. Alright, passengers, how are we getting on board? Let's see. Then we'll do our departure brief. Well, to be fair, that's not bad. Nearly done. Refueling has completed. Alright, so departure brief then. Let's have a look. Our weather here in Enfidah is obviously, aside from being blooming warm, is very nice. Great visibility. Weather en route, pretty much very similar to yesterday. So as it starts to heat up, we've got isolated embedded cumulonimbus clouds up to 38,000 feet. That is our cruise level today as well, so we might have to avoid a few of those. Unless we can just cloud skirt them, that'd be nice. And then when we come into Geneva, they could just be the starts of some cumulus build-ups and maybe a few showers of rain. They've got thunderstorms as well forecast for this afternoon, but I'm hoping we'll be in before they come in. So yeah, weather is hopefully going to be fine because of the time of day we're flying today. Our aircraft, of course, is the Fenix A320. It's fully serviceable with the exception of working weather radar. And no times for our departure or arrival, actually, apart from Link 5's closed in Geneva, but that won't affect us. And threats to be aware of. So it's noise abatement 1 departure day, not something we normally do. So our acceleration altitude is going to be much higher, so when we reduce the thrust we're going to keep the nose pointed up and make sure that We don't lower that nose like we would normally do until we're at about 3,000 feet, 3,013 feet I think it is. And then that is to just avoid a little bit of, it's basically a noise abatement procedure. They want us up high out of the way. No turns then below 5,000 feet. We can see this as well, 5,000 feet, that is where our initial turn begins. But in terms of threats as well, we've also got a minimum safe altitude in this little sector of 5,300 feet. If you were watching the stream yesterday, we actually came in this way and you saw there is a little bit of terrain. We'll probably see it on departure as well. We're nice and safe, of course. But yeah, it's just worth bringing in. That is why it's a non-standard engine out procedure as well. We're going to push back from stand 16, which is here. We shall face south, and then we'll taxi out on Sierra November, and then we're going all the way full length, which is to hotel for a full length departure. That's what we've worked with. Right, do you remember me saying the clean speed was interesting? So we've actually got a max speed 210 knots in our turn. Our green dot speed is 211 knots. So what we should do by the letter of the law is oh, it's gone up. Okay, 2 knots. Could you get away with it? Just flying it clean. Do you know what? No, let's go with 198. We'll fly at flaps 1. 189 rather. We'll pre-select 189 and fly flaps 1 through that first turn. If it was just 1 knot, I was going to be cheeky. I was going to fly at green dot speed through that turn. 1 knots isn't going to make too much of an issue. Constraints are turned on, and that's fine. So yes, that speed restriction on through that turn, but it's nice on after departure, so we'll have autopilot on nice and early, and we can enjoy the views. Emergency brief, standard Airbus emergency brief here. Engine out procedures non-standard. 5 miles from November Bravo Alpha. We make a right-hand turn to Movar into the hold, and then we can get back in here. We're below our maximum landing weight as well on departure, so that won't be an issue if we needed to return. Okay, 118 people boarded. Let's look at the ground services. I think now with refueling finished, let's start tidying up our aircraft. External power can go. Seatbelt signs can come on. Check the ground page. We can get rid of those. Close those up, then we've just got the main door and the jetway for the last few passengers to get on board. It's my fault, I told the passengers the wrong time. Don't blame them. Right, a few things left to check. So we want to check I've got that 3 nav green. Indeed we do. Fuel quantity is all loaded and balanced. Oh, I think I've just heard the doors close.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board our Easyjet service. Please place your large bags into the overhead locker, wheels first, and keep your small items under the seat in front of you. These include laptops, handbags, duty-free and loose items of clothing. Once you have safely stowed your cabin bag, please take your seat. To help us ensure a prompt departure, we would kindly ask that you keep the aisle clear, enabling all remaining customers to board. Your seatbelt can now be fastened ready for departure. This is a no-smoking service. Thank you for observing this policy.
Paul says it's prime time for the Australian viewers. Indeed, that's why I do like to try and get at least one early morning flight in here in the UK for Australian and New Zealand viewers. Okay. Okay, so before start, checklist to the line. Cockpit preparation is complete as signs are on. And auto it is. We've got 3 nav green. That fuel quantity is 7470 and balance FMGS is set. Altimeter is 1015. That's about 18 feet. Let's get the tug into position, shall we?
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of myself, the first officer, and the cabin crew, may I welcome you on board this Easyjet aircraft for your flight today. The ground crew and the fueling crew have all finished, and we're just about finished with all our cockpit preparation up here. The cabin crew are making their final checks as they work through the cabin, so if you could please get yourselves sat down comfortably with your seatbelts securely fastened and give them their full attention as they begin their safety briefing. A big welcome on board today to our Easyjet Sim pilot members, who of course are welcome to free complimentary drinks throughout the flight. Once we reach our cruising altitude, our cabin service will commence and the cabin crew will be able to provide you with drinks, snacks and merchandise throughout the duration of the flight. Once again, I'd like to thank you for choosing to fly with Easyjet today. We'll have an update for you when we are airborne.
Okay, we'll now tune on to Unicom as we get ready to depart.
Cabin crew, we're all ready to go, so please arm the doors and cross-check. Thank you.
Right, 122.8. I don't know if there's any other traffic here. I better check to see if there's any air traffic control actually on. Any air traffic control online, hadn't I? Had not done that. Let me see. Don't think there is, so we should be okay. Right, let's make the call. Enfidah traffic top Swiss 1350, pushing back stand 16 facing south. Martella, indeed, yep, using self-loading cargo. Right, not sure why that time is running. And beacon light is on standby for the transponder. Acupressure in the green nose wheel, steering is disconnected. Start the timer. Before start, checklist below line, windows and doors closed and armed, beacon light on, phone on silent, parking brake is on. Let's release that. Back we go. Engine mode selector to start, and starting engine 1. We'll get our final load sheet as well in a little bit. I don't imagine it to be any different, so if it is, obviously we'll need to rerun some calculations, but I'm guessing that won't be the case. Some airlines do actually get the load sheet quite late, literally whilst they're on the taxiway, on the way to the runway. Which is sometimes why you have to see them stop, because things are different and they have to rerun some calculations. Hopefully that will not be us today. Retroscopics, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Good morning to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now ask for your attention while we take you through the safety procedures on this aircraft. A safety card is in your seat pocket showing the exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets and brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 2 emergency exits at the rear, 4 in the middle, and 2 at the front of the cabin. Floor lighting will guide you to an exit. Please be aware that your nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, leave all cabin baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above you. Pull a mask towards you to start the oxygen. Put the mask over your nose and mouth. Hold in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take the life jacket from under your seat. Put it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist click together, and pull the strap to adjust. Do not inflate it inside the aircraft. When outside, inflate by pulling the toggle. If it fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into the tube. There is a light and whistle for attracting attention. We also carry flotation aids for children. Your tray table must now be stowed, armrest down, window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. We wish you a pleasant flight with Easyjet.
Oh, look at that. We've got a really good pushback crew today. Absolutely bang on that taxiway. Right, so engine 1 stabilised. We're now starting engine number 2. Some nice static aircraft with this scenery as well. This is payware scenery for anyone that was wondering. Oh, let me link the barrows, because that's going to annoy me otherwise. Where is it? Sim settings, I think. And is it the airline modifiable airframe? Where is it? Am I being blind? Where's the link? Oh, it's there on the controls. Yeah, not independent. Let's have it linked, please. Thank you. Klaus says, hi from Denmark. Always nice with some flying on the second screen when working from home. Oh, Klaus, that's the best way to... if you've got to work from home, that's why I love doing these daytime streams with people working. It gives them something to do. And, of course, it's interactive as well. So, Klaus, hope you're not working too hard. Flying you into Geneva this morning. Right, engine 2 is stabilised. Let's... do I have to start flow? So engine mode selected to normal. APU bleed is off. APU masters is off. Our anti-ice is most certainly not required. And it's going to be flaps 1, rudder. Now, let's see. Have we got the second load sheet so I can set that trim? There we go. So 0 fuel weight 55.8, excellent. That gives us a takeoff weight then of 63.1. That's fine. Don't need to rerun the calcs. And 28 is our trim value, which, to be honest, is pretty much where it is. So even better. Let's go ahead and accept that. Right, let's do a flight control check. Full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral rudder, full right, full left, neutral. After start checklist, anti-ice is off, ecam status is checked, and pitch trim is 29, rudder trim is set 0. Enfidah traffic, topswift 1350, taxi now via Sierra November uniform to hotel, holding point for for runway 27. There's the taxi clearance. First Officer George is making himself known today, if you can hear him. I think the tug driver's still there, isn't he? Where's the tug gone? Our nose wheel steering's disconnected, so okay. He must have snuck off. Christian, you're on cooking duty, dude. Is that a barbecue cooking duty? Right, let's go, shall we? Roy, pushback system. At the moment I'm using pushback helper, so we kind of just have to eyeball that a little bit. Do you know what? I'm going to make a change to my taxi, as we've got to use full length. Oh no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Oh, company aircraft departing. That's nice to see. That looks smooth as well. I thought I was a bit further north at the apron and I was going to take taxiway Tango all the way down, but I'm not. I'll stick to my initial taxi route. So our heads check, no change to performance. QNH 1015, still going to be a flex. Departure, engine out procedure is non-standard. 5 miles from the NBA, right turn to Movar. Departure is the Vaxel 1 Delta, and our initial climb 6,000. Does that say 6,000? Doesn't. Initial climb 6,000. There we go. We'll get on the nice straight taxiway uniform, then I'll run the before takeoff checks. We can turn these off and appease the light haters here in the chat. There we are. Really enjoyed the trip down here yesterday. Got to do a... Oh, please, Sim Update 10, fix that bug. When taxiing, all your controls are frozen into position. Yeah, really nice trip down here yesterday. Nice long journey to somewhere very different. Right, before takeoff checklist to the line, flight controls are checked. Departure briefing is confirmed. Flap setting is config 1. FMA takeoff data is 138 blue, 141 magenta climb, nav blue 1, FD2 6000, flex 68. Transponder is set E, cam memo takeoff no blue. And our EFB stowed. Dark Fury, we're not using toolbar pushback, we're using pushback helper. Toolbar pushback still got a little bit of a memory leak, which some people have issues with it, some people don't. I'm playing it safe. Risky, that is exactly right. There's the bug in the sim whenever you're holding the right mouse button down, all the controls are frozen, which has led to me rolling off taxiways several times. See, that was not a bug since the start of the Sims release, though, was it? That happened after a sim update, which you would think, oh, it's just a simple thing to fix, isn't it? Says the guy that has trouble coding the hard disk player. By hard disk player, I meant a digital TV tuning device without naming any specific brands or names. So the textures for the trees as well are provided by Rex AccuSeasons, which I really like. Richard Hamilton, good morning. Which checklist am I using to fly with it? So at the moment, I've actually got a real world one, but it is a tad out of date, so that'll be getting updated soon. Alright, let's hold it there, but I don't think anything's coming. Our approach path looks good and clear. brake temperatures are fine. I think, guys, we're good to go. Enfidah traffic, top Swiss 1350, lining up for departure runway 27, Vaxel 1 Delta. Before takeoff checklist, below the line. Let's just get moving, then I'll get those packs off. Don't want to turn those packs off too early. It's very warm and airplanes heat up incredibly quickly. Jennards, thank you for subscribing on YouTube, appreciate that. Risky, yes, so you're right, if you hold it between the landing lights, it'll do both at the same time. I find it's just a very weird click spot, isn't it? But, yeah, it's just making sure you find it. This is an incredibly wide runway. Oh, same issue, there it is again, look, little bug. That was the worst lineup ever. Worst lineup ever. Oh, Dark Fury, mate. £5 super chat coming in from Dark Fury says, thank you so much. Hi ho, hi ho. Off to work I go. Have a great flight. Oh, Dark, you're going to be sweltering today at work. I guarantee you that. Have a good shift, my friend, and thank you for your support, as always, mate. Right. We'll see you in Geneva. Before takeoff checklist below the line, cabin is secured. Engine mode selector is normal. TCAS is TRA, packs are off, anti-ice is on. Let's go. So, set takeoff thrust. Correction, no, set 50% in 1. Stable, set takeoff thrust. Flex SRS runway. Checked. V1, rotate. Nav.
Positive reading for gear up.
No turns below 500. There we go, that's 500. Now can we begin the turn? Keep that nose up. Set climb thrust. Thrust climb SRS. Autopilot 1 engaged. That's a lot greener than I was expecting. Manic Miner, who painted those white lines, they did look a little bit drunk, didn't they? I'll get PAX 2 on in a minute, but that's the terrain that we were talking about over there. Doesn't look like anything, does it? But needs noting. There was more noticeable on the arrival yesterday. Right, we're now through that turn, so we can go ahead and accelerate, clean up. So we're passing S speed. Now clean. No ATC, let's clear ourselves up to flight level 200. We'll go open climb, pull standard. Open climb 2000 blue. And there we go. Goodbye, Africa. really enjoyed that flight there yesterday. Somewhere new to tick off the list as somewhere we've been. Nick on Twitch now doing his great PR. Smash the follow button, everyone, if you're enjoying the content on Twitch. Thank you, Nick. I should be paying you a wage. Johnny Rolson is on YouTube. Thank you so much for the sub, and Fly Lilo as well on Twitch. Right, we should be now on thrust climb, open climb. Indeed, there we go. All is good. 250 knots. Release the cabin crew. They can start getting to work.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelt fastened while the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. Toilets are located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time. This includes e-cigarettes.
Coming up to see, that's the issue I'd got there. Just trying to find that click spot there in the middle where oh, go away, don't need you. Things aren't that bad. So just passing 10,000 feet, lights not needed. Radnav page, I can clear out the hard-coded VOR. Don't need that. Onto the prog page. Flight level 380 is our cruise, 36 is the optimum. Yeah, okay, let's reduce that. Right, we're going to go flight level 360 it is. Check 360 blue, and we'll update the prog page. 360 done. J-Hog, good morning from the garden. That sounds peaceful. Is your garden as dead as mine? A horse would have a field day. It's just hay. Ah, there's some Tunisian resorts down there, I see. And Retroscopics on Twitch says, as a passenger on your stream today, it's safe to say I've already broken the no smoking regulations twice. Also, the airport security should not have let me through. Dylan W, do you think I'll ever come fly in Australia? Yes, I mean, occasionally we get a chance to do, we basically go on tour, don't we? And we pick an airline and country and things, and we do a special stream, so I would say at some point definitely we will be on tour in Australia. Simon120, thanks for the follow on Twitch as well. Nick says we've got nearly 1,000 followers on Twitch. Really? Say Twitch by far isn't the biggest streaming platform for myself. A little bouncy this morning. So as we leave Africa, get over the Med and back towards mainland Europe, that's when we should probably start to see a few clouds building up. If you've enjoyed the stream so far, we're an hour in now, then please do be sure to hit that like button, help other people find the channel, and of course if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe as well. Evers Piciosto, or however that is pronounced, Twitch follower, thank you for following. Barry says, did Jamie, the London Control, get a hype starter for us on Twitch, maybe? No, he'll be doing his own stream pretty soon. I think he normally starts around 11ish. I'm not normally a morning streamer, but sometimes we can get one in. Usually on a Thursday mornings if we can. And a much better time for our Kiwi friends. Streaming at sort of 2-3 p.m. here in the UK, and even later sometimes at 7, 8, 9 p.m. in the UK is not great for Australian viewing and New Zealand viewing. It's either very early in the morning or well, the middle of the night. Unknown person on Twitch, whoever you are, thank you for following. Noel Humphrey says Kiwi here. Fantastic. And Paul says as well, a great time for us Australians at this time as well. Yeah, it means I just envision you guys, because you have such a nice relaxed way of life. I imagine you just all sat there now with a beer in hand, chilling at the end of a working day. Dylan says, yeah, we often get to the end of your streams as we're waking up here in Australia. So you've basically slept through the flight. Fair enough. Dylan says that as well, any good VATSIM resources you can suggest looking to fly in the USA for the first time. The USA sometimes confuses me. The main difference you'll find with the USA, and I don't know how it is in Australia, is that you a host of followers, guys, coming in on Twitch. Thank you so much, Krusty, Andrew Regis, Fiona Officially. Yeah, thanks so much, guys. Yeah, so one of the big things you'll find in the USA is the ground handling is very different. You basically you decide yourself when you're going to push back, from what I gather. Then once you've pushed back, that's when you contact ground, and they tell you where to go, which I found a little bit strange. Brothers and Jaxwell on Twitch also, thanks guys for the follow. And Tom has been a member. He's celebrating 2 months membership. Tom, thanks so much, saying quite a smooth departure. Yeah, it wasn't bad. The winds weren't that strong. I think they were pretty light today. J-Hog, you missed the start as you were giving... oh yes, yeah, his car needed taken in this morning, didn't it? More expense. Right, we're not heavy, so I'm going to envisage we'll reach our top climb, in about 60 miles or so. We're about 9 minutes according to that. So we're obviously not over Africa very long. We're in the northeastern corner. Oh, do you know what? It's great to see clouds there, and I'll tell you for why. As lovely as the weather is in Tunisia, Enfidah, when it's cav okay and you load in and you see not one single cloud, you do wonder, is my live weather working? Well, obviously I can see clouds there, so it is. Paul XDK, thank you for the sub on YouTube as well. And Nick on Twitch says 6 followers to get to 1,000. Well, can you imagine if we get to 1,000 subs on Twitch and 25,000 subs on YouTube in the same stream? That'd be worth a celebration, wouldn't it? Vian Dave says hello, just came on. How are you? I'm very well, thank you, Dave. Pull up a pew. Paul, do I have any tips for hand flying the glide slope and landing? You struggle quite a bit keeping the glide slope using TCA or side stick. You don't have a lot of experience, of course, but yeah, right. So I'm going to tell you, Paul, which sometimes I forget to do myself, and that is look out the window. Try not to get fixated on your instruments down here. Use the PAPIs as a good reference, but once you start getting below 400 to 300 feet, those PAPIs become pretty unreliable. So by that point, you just need to continue to drive your aircraft down. And This sounds counterintuitive, but sometimes you do need to put a bit of forward pressure on the side stick to force that aircraft down, to continue to drive that aircraft down into the ground, which is not what your brain's telling you want to do. But honestly, sometimes you have to. If you find that glide slope is creeping beneath you, and when you're on that glide slope, then sometimes if a gust of wind comes, and it's a headwind in particular, that'll just give you a little bit of an extra lift. So when you're on the glide slope, sometimes you may still find yourself just having to add a little bit of forward pressure just to keep that down. In fact, I'll happily discuss some failings of mine. The flight we did into Inverness a few days ago, if anyone was watching that, if you watch it very closely, and I had to go back and watch this a few times, we ended up basically having a bit of a long landing. Now, if you watch very closely, that started at around 200 feet away, 200 feet on the Radalt. And when I went to watch back, at 200 feet, the aircraft pitched up very slightly, and I mean very, very slightly. You could hardly see it. So I rewound, watched it, and it did. It pitched up very, very slightly from 200 feet AGL. That little increase in pitch then over the next 200 feet going down meant that we were no longer going down at the rate that we needed to. And it could only be the slightest, half a degree, maybe even less. But then over the distance travelled, by the time you get to the threshold, you're going to be too high. So what I should have done, and I didn't do, is notice that we'd pitched up ever so slightly and push the aircraft back down forward to maintain the angle of attack. It's also a bit of a false impression here in the sim, because you haven't got the tactile feel in the seat. You haven't got peripheral vision all the way around you, and if you're flying on a screen, then what is really difficult is you might look at this and think, right, I'm now flying level, and then if I push the side stick down a little bit, it looks like you're sort of driving the nose into the ground. But actually then, if you look and have a look at your PFD, you will still be pitched nose up, but it doesn't feel like you're pitched nose up on a 2D screen. So it is practice, yeah, but sometimes you do have to do something which feels counterintuitive. Just push that nose down a little bit to keep on that glide slope, and the chances are that you will not be nose down, even though on a 2D screen looking out the window it looks like you're nose down. But just have a check here. As long as you can see this, that is indeed, we're actually nose up, and you can confirm that now. Just having a quick look outside. Yeah, there you go. Trying to get the horizon level, but we're nose up. Dylan would love to hear my thoughts on the Just Flight Fokker 100 announcement. Have they announced a Fokker 100? Really? I've not seen one of those for years. KLM used to fly them all the time into my local Manchester. Then they also had the Fokker 50s as well. Noisy things. Doctor on board, good morning to you. Hope you're well. And Rolly on Twitch, thank you for following as well. So we're about 800 feet away from our top of climb. We'll do some fuel checks and various different things. Oh, Paula, my apologies. I'm sorry. Paula, can I ask you a personal question? Are you female? And the reason I ask that is because I automatically, very wrong of me, particularly nowadays, envisage that most people watching this kind of stuff are male. may not be. If there are any females in the chat, please do say hi. Be great to have a lady in the chat. Can't recall it happening very often at all. That's Macald Star. Vihan, do you think flyby A320X will come to the Xbox? No. And Alt Cruise. Oh, we just completely jumped through our altitude there. Must be a weather import issue. Dylan says it's going to be 2023 release for the... Well, that makes sense. I mean, that's only 6 months away. Barry, did I just assume your gender? What a meme. ZHD, thanks for the follow on Twitch. Mark Jackson, I use Pushback Helper. Mel's UK following on Twitch as well. Thank you. Paula says, yeah, I'm female. Most people assume I'm Paul and that I'm male in these streams for some reason. Paula, yeah, that is exactly what I did. My apologies. But that's great. And I really don't meet many women that are into things like Microsoft Flight Simulator. I really don't, so that's a fresh of breath there. I bet if we had a poll now with everyone in the chat, there's 115 viewers crossed across both YouTube and Twitch. I bet if we did a poll, I'd go 99.9. You would be the 0.1%, Paula, of females. I'm pretty certain of that. Fitzy, there are female pilots though. Oh yeah, they are. There are indeed. Very good ones too. And in a lot of ways, I think a woman's brain is perhaps wired better for the roles of a pilot, given their multitasking capabilities and logic. They always say women have more common sense than men, don't they? I think that's certainly the case in my house. Not for the triplet girls. They have no common sense. Fire? Okay, I'll pick that up. Paul says, don't worry, I don't take it bad. I've been a fan of aviation since I was very little, and I think, Paul, that's how it starts for most of us. Melvin Johnson, hello from Sweden. Barry says there's not enough females in the sim community. I'd have to agree with that. And I also want a slippery slope. Down, boy. Right, we're at our cruising altitude. Let's do our checks. Oh, that looks good. We haven't got any fuel leaks. We're going to go ahead and get on route weather. Let's have a quick check and see. So we'll go to our. Let's log out over here. Go to the VATSIM menu. AOC. I don't want to receive messages. I want the weather page. Get a weather request in there. Operations haven't shouted at me yet for being God knows how late. I had the wrong time in there. Right, we only got the chance to look at one weather. Let's have a look. We'll go for. Let's go for Calgary, shall we? Right, is Calgary ahead of us? Calgary is about 60 miles away. We've got quite a few actually. To be fair, Easyjet also fly to Obia Costa quite a bit, so we'll have a look at there, which is Lima India Echo Oscar. Send that off. Now we've just passed Osmar, so we'll have a look at our fuel. Wild Lenson, do you have a solution if you're in the A320 and you can't change your altitude mode? It says you can't change it. I'm going to guess you're in heading mode, aren't you? That's a guess. Are you trying to go from open descent to managed descent or something like that? Vian Dave, the flight time's around 1 hour 45 minutes, so yeah, a little bit shorter. What was the waypoint we just passed? Osmar. So we should have around 5.3 tons of fuel. What have we got? No, loads. Fuel check complete. Well, the original female flight instructor was Patty Wagstaff, wasn't it? She the lady that did all the videos in the very early Microsoft Flight Simulator days. Does anyone remember that? Not much to see at the moment. Let's get our map up, shall we? Did you say you're flying on an Xbox controller? So I've got no experience with that. But basically, you cannot enter managed mode for descent or climb if you're in heading mode. You can only enter managed climb or descent if you're in nav mode. You can't do it in heading mode. If you're in heading mode, you're in control where the aircraft's flying, and the aircraft doesn't know where it's going. It's because you're controlling it, it's not controlling it. Ah, there we go. So Calgary that we can just see ahead of us, down here. I don't think we've ever flown into Calgary. Have we flown into Calgary before? I don't think so. That might have to be one of our next stops. We've got a message. This will be the one where they're shouting at me. Oh, Cav okay then. For Eddie EO. That's easy to say. And Easyjet Ops, 67 minutes late. We have a new record. Because the pilot's a numpty, he filed the wrong flight time. There we go. ODI. There we go. See if that will appease them. When you are on control, but you don't see the arrows to push or pull the buttons. Ah, right, okay. I'm not sure how that works then. If you're using control, if you're on a PC, then you need to set your mouse to legacy mode. But I'm not really sure of the control. Maybe some other people in the chat might be able to help you. Vihan Dave says thoughts on the Aerosoft A330 coming up. Great. I loved the I loved the Aerosoft aircraft back for the FSX years ago. So I think that's going to be really nice. Be interesting to see how detailed they make it. I don't expect it to be anywhere near as detailed as the Fenix. Maybe as detailed as the fly-by-wire, which is testament to fly-by-wire because, of course, I'm guessing the aerosoft won't be free. Simon Twitch says, "Good to catch you live. Didn't realise we were on Twitch. Much better for watching on the iPad." Oh yeah, yeah. We're not always on Twitch at the same time, but sometimes. Yeah. So we should just start to see Calgary appearing out here. If you're on the left-hand side of the plane, you've got something to look at. If you're on the right-hand side of the plane, you have water to look at. I was in the front though. There's a nice view. Seed HD, hello on Twitch. Hope you're well. Here comes the clouds that we were speaking about. A bit of cloud surfing for the remainder of our flight, really, I'm guessing. And Speedbird464, Nick on Twitch says 3 followers to go on the road to 1K. That is quite impressive. I didn't realise we had that many on Twitch. Ultimately, my latest specs. We're now on a GTX 3060. You can cue the nightbot up. Just type in the exclamation mark specs, and it'll give you the full details. But yeah, the GTX 6030. And we've now also moved over from a hard drive to an SSD, which has sped things up so much. And we've got the Ryzen 7 3700X and 32 gig of RAM. Looks nice down there, doesn't it?
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase from our selection of fresh food available today. Full details can be found in your in-flight brochure. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, and if we can be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
So I'm wondering if now we're at this nice little stage of flight whether I should just go back and get a drink. It's starting to get very warm here in the office. Trismo Steve says, "Good morning. Seeing these images makes me want to go on a holiday." It does, doesn't it? Yeah, it looks so great. It does make you think, oh, what it must be like to visit somewhere like that and go and lay on that beach. Andres Frank says, "When I make the approach in manage mode, short before touchdown, the plane is increasing in thrust. This makes the landing quite tricky. What must I do to make the aircraft not increase in thrust?" When you say manage mode, Andres, are you trying to do you mean a full auto land? Because yeah, full auto land, you're literally hands off. Starting to cloud over now. I'm going to lose all these nice views, aren't I? Dylan does say as well, activate the approach mode in number 2. Yeah, if that's not done, you're going to end up spooling back up to 250 knots. Not what you want when you're 1,000 feet from touching down. Andres says no, just the thrust auto thrust is on, autopilot is off. Yeah, same thing then. I would imagine you're not arming the approach mode, which tells the auto thrust to target your final approach speed when you're fully configured. If you don't arm the approach mode and you pop the auto thrust into manage mode, manage speed, then it will target 250 knots below 10,000 feet. Don't realise how big Corsica is, really, do you? It's probably the size of Wales, maybe bigger. The sun is directly behind us today, which is nice because it means that we're not getting blinded. Well, my first officer might be. To pull the blinds down there, look. Get rid of her. Get rid of her pad. There we go. I can put mine back on charge now as well, can't I? Now that we're airborne. So what time should we be landing? Around 12:30. Oh, that's a good hour and 15 minutes away. Oh, good news. We can now get out to our cruise, which is great. That'll cut a little bit of time off. Okay, let's go for it. 50380. Thrust climb, open climb, 380 blue. Okay guys, I'm just going to go and grab myself a nice cool drink. I'm going to leave you with this gorgeous view. Then we'll start looking at some stuff for the approach. Thanks so much for watching. If you're enjoying it, please do hit the like, follow and subscribe button. Helps other people to find the channel as well if you do that. So big thanks to those of you who have already done it. And yeah, I'll be back in 2-3 minutes once I've found something nice and cool to drink. Back in a moment. Oh, right, back with you guys now. Ah, I see Christian's also returned. How was your cooking experience? Oh, I see we're talking about approach mode. Right, don't be confused. There's two different things. There's the approach mode and the approach phase. You need to activate the approach phase in the McDo for when you're landing. The approach mode is this thing. Hang on. Right, so you activate the approach mode just here. And you activate the approach phase. Oh, it was just there. Just there. Obviously, we're not going to do that just yet. Right, shall we have a look at some charts for the arrival, see what's what. Is Nightbot being daft again? What's Nightbot saying? Oh, fly-by-wire. Yeah, we're not using that today. Christian says it was delicious. You may have used too much garlic though, but at least it's healthy for your heart. And keeps vampires away. Big Jacko's Gaming. Good day to you. Or good evening, isn't it? Let's have a look at these charts, see what we've got for our arrival. So we're going to be coming in via Kines today. For us, that's going to be the Kines to Romeo arrival for runway 22. And our initial approach fix is going to be Saint-Prix. And that's then pretty straightforward from there. With a nice arrival over Lake Geneva. Constraints to be aware of. Souvelle, we need to be above 1,100 feet, and then down we go. They will all automatically be hard-coded in. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, there we go. Alright, let's set up the box for the arrival. So here on the flight plan page, we're going to just have a little look. I've got a manual leg in there. That is basically just here, because normally air traffic control would leave you flying this way and then tell you to turn left, back round to intercept the localizer. However, with no ATC on board today, we can probably look at clearing that out. So let's clear out the manual leg. And just go straight to Sierra Papa Romeo. Speed constraints are automatically already in there. That's nice. Just want to double check how far is Sierra Papa Romeo from the airfield. Oh, it's 18 miles out. That's fine, absolutely fine. We could be flaps 1 on that. So let's go ahead and insert that. RadNav page then. We'll just go and fill that out. It's SPR, isn't it, not SPX? Keep that in. We're doing ILS today, not RNAV, so don't need to worry about the GPS accuracy for that. Right, let's have a look at the approach page. We'll pop some stuff in there a little bit later on, but the current weather, we'll get it in, then we can update it as we go. So what have we got in Geneva at the moment? Oh, we've got some ATC. Oh, that's amazing. Right, so QNH then at the moment as it stands is 1013. Temperature is 22. And current winds 090 at 4 knots. Tailwind. That's cab okay, isn't it? Yeah, few visibility is fine. Few clouds, 2,400 feet. So that means what's our barrel going to be? Cat 1 is 1565. Okay, so fill that out. So our landing weight then, looking at this, should be 60. What are we at? We're 55.9 is our zero fuel weight. Landing weight is expected to be 3.4 tons of fuel, so that's 59.3. We'll do a landing calculation shortly. We'll just copy our active flight plan so we've got that available in case we need it. Oh, that's nice. We've got some ATC. I hope they'll be online when we get there. Rick Lancaster, good morning. You're off from... Oh, where's that? That's is that Marrakesh to Manchester? Just realised the music volume's a bit high. Is that Marrakesh to Manchester, isn't it? Sounds like a nice flight. Christian, hate to ruin the expectations, but vampires don't exist. Have you met the mother-in-law? And Stephen, currently doing a random flight on Microsoft Flight Sim whilst working in Madrid to oh, go on, where's that? Can't remember. Lewis Aviation, good afternoon to you. I always used to do that, fly while working, because, well, why not? Paul's going to have to go now. Thanks for the stream. It was great talking to you, Paul. It was great talking to you as well. Great, please do come back on board for future streams. I look forward to seeing you again soon. So we'll obviously keep an eye on the weather as we go. What's the platform altitude for you? 7,000 feet. And MSA as we're coming in is 10,600 feet. Airfield elevations 1365. And missed approach 7,000. Okay, let's everything's set up in the box. I just want to check one final thing, and that is that our waypoints and the coding all matches up for the final approach. Should do. So we've got Rocket Golem, Valbul, Suvel, and then we've got, is it Biv Low, then 525, 512, and then the Sierra Papa Romeo. Right, that all works. Let's work out how I'm going to fly the approach. So let's just grab our Geneva chart, just the arrival chart, which chart is 10-2 Golf. That's the one. Right, so pretty self-explanatory then with regards to our constraints. The main aim of the game will be to have flaps 1 out as we start down the ILS. There's a little tailwind as well, so we might need to jump to flaps 2 if it looks like we're not going to go down and slow down. So if we can make sure we are green dot by there, that will be fine. And then I want flaps 1 as we get to the Salt Pre, and then flaps 2 is just going to be as we're going down. So, but with a little tailwind, we may have to pull flaps 2 a little earlier than I would like. I don't really want to be doing flaps 2 18 miles out on the approach. That's a long way to travel very slowly. ATC won't like that. But if that's how the winds are going to be, then so be it. We are going to be landing with a little tailwind. So that's pretty much it. We will initially set our descent down to flight level 110. That's going to be our initial descent altitude with no ATC to boot. So when we start and hit the top of descent, we'll get down to flight level 110. Or rather, we'll not be down to flight level 110, but that's what we'll go in the FCU. But we're aiming for 7,000, of course, at Salt Pre. Green dot at 512, flaps 1 as we get to Salt Pre and turn onto the ILS. Once we've landed, let's have a look at the at the landing airport chart. There we go. So coming in 22, and we will vacate on Charlie. There's one we can't vacate on, isn't there? Let me just read the brief for that. Just have a quick check. Heavy, medium, light, small, taxiway Delta. Taxiway Charlie shall not be used. That's the one. So taxiway Charlie, we can't use that. Right, so I'll expect to vacate at Delta. Which, if I just go back, how far away was that? 2,000 meters from the threshold. Alright, let's do the landing calculation then. Wrong one. So runway 22 should be dry, grab the latest weather. That landing weight was 69.3, sorry 59.3. Let's just round that up, 59.5. Yeah, so there you can see the slight tailwind component. Low auto brake is 2,000 meters. Auto brake high, that seems a bit overkill. Alright, we'll use auto brake low and then I can use a little bit of manual braking just to get us off if need to. That's also with no reverse, so we're not going to use max reverse anyway. Airports don't like that either, too loud. Alright, auto brake low it will be. So that's the plan. Top of descent, we'll set flight level 110. We'll get ourselves down in managed descent all the way down, and we'll make sure we're green dot by 512, and then flaps 1, flaps 2, fly the approach, vacate delta, and hopefully park in the right stand. Fuel on board will be 3.6, I think it said, didn't it? So we'll have 3.5. We'll have enough to go around and have a second attempt if we should need to. Threats then, let's talk about the threats. Well, let me just bring that chart back up and you can have a look. See for yourself, and anyone that's familiar with Geneva, whilst very impressive and looks beautiful, there is a lot of terrain around Geneva. So these altitudes need to be absolutely respected. Minimum safe altitude in our sector as we're heading in is 10,600 feet. As you can see from here. So very important that we don't get any lower than this. Hence the reason why we need to be no lower than flight level 110 at Souville. After we've left Souville then, we're fine for terrain clearance. We can see. We could get down as low as 4,200 by 512, but we're not going to, because our approach begins at 7,000 feet as sampling. Right, arrival brief is done. Let's sit back, relax, and how long have we got until our top of descent, roughly? Top of descent should be in around 30 minutes. A little less, 25 minutes. And before I forget, I'll pop the terrain radar on as well, because we'll most certainly want that on our approach. I often keep forgetting to put that on because I'm so used to fly-by-wire when it doesn't work. Back over the Mediterranean now, so not too much to see. Ooh, a little bit of land there though. That looked nice, didn't it? Has anyone ever been on holiday then to Corsica? And Nick on Twitch says ETA in 35 minutes will hit 1,000 followers. Who knows, Nick? Who knows? Lewis Aviation, you're doing a flight on Infinite Flight. I keep seeing people streaming that as well at times. I have to be honest, I've never really watched. Oh no! Guys! I think we're out. I don't believe this. I think I'm going to click OK and we're gone. And I don't think I can save this or do anything to pull this back. I have never had that application error before. Just after we'd done our flipping brief. Hit the X, Von. I'll try it. But I think we're waving goodbye. Oh dear. Oh. Right. Let me see. Let me see if we can still get ourselves into Geneva. How annoying is that? Recovering in the fly-by-wire is a little bit easier than the Fenix. I'm just trying to think how we can do this. I can't even start the Fenix mid-air. It doesn't allow me to do it. Unless I start on the ground and slew. We'll continue in normal mode. Sam says, "Don't worry, just start again." Start again, mate. I haven't got time to do that again. Not the full flight. Nick says, "Slew and your rat comes out." Pardon the pun. Well, there's the comment of the stream. How strange. I definitely don't have the full time to do the full mass setup. Let me see. Wondering if I can just quickly get us airborne, slow up, and then back to the back en route. Fuel and everything's going to be off, but hey ho, can't do anything about that now. Dylan says, "Just go from set as arrival on world map." No, Dylan, the point is, you cannot start the Phoenix in the air. It doesn't work. And if we did just set the arrival on the world map, it makes no difference because the Phoenix doesn't talk to the world map. So it's not like it's going to use that routing. I can still use the routing in the Phoenix. I just need to perhaps just be a little bit creative. If I started at the arrival, Dylan, you would, your Phoenix would start in on the ground. Yeah. Which is weird, that, isn't it? Never mind. Think of this, guys, as a sort of in-flight movie entertainment. We'll be back in the air shortly. I hope. I normally, whenever you get a crash to desktop, which, let's face it, I think everybody has had, normally the sim just disappears, doesn't it? The sim normally just disappears without any error warning at all. We actually got an error warning this time, so maybe that's progress. Right, let's see if we can start at right, tell you what. Set this departure. Roy says that explains it. I tried starting mid-flight between UK and EU and ended up bobbing in the channel. Yeah, you would. That's a Phoenix thing. So you can start the fly-by-wire in the air. Bus Driver GP, this could be interesting to watch as you do get a few crash desktops. Yeah, who doesn't? First one I've had with an issue though. Right. This is a nice area of the world. Okay, so let me... Oh, did the Phoenix app log out as well? Oh, why are we moving? It's not that windy, is it? Unable to connect. Let me just restart the app. Right, hopefully we'll have some power to our aircraft in a minute. So, first things first, ignoring everything else, let me just quickly get the flight reinitiated. Are our engines running? They are. Let's set that. Nav accuracy downgraded. Are we on? Yep. Secondary flight plan. Why can't we activate that? Oh, there, yes we can. Right, activate that. Check takeoff data. Yeah, that's fine. Let me just get the arrival put back in. ILS-22. What was the name of the star? Kins 2 Romeo. Kins 2 Romeo via Saint-Prix. Done. Ignore the discontinuity, really doesn't matter. Throw the weight of the aircraft in. Import that. Weight and balance. Oh, how much fuel would we have had roughly where we were? Right, I'm gonna have to go for a little guesstimate here. Let's go with 4 tons. Maybe a bit more, 4.3. And load the aircraft. Instant. Done. I'm just going to absolutely make up some random speeds here, so this is complete rubbish, but I've just got to get the aircraft off the ground. I'll use Toga. Zero fuel weight was 55.9, and I can't even remember the zero fuel weight CFG. I'll just pop that as standard. Right. Okay. So now let's go direct to Merlu. Right, let's try and get airborne. We do need to do this properly though, otherwise it will shout at us. So, very quickly, we'll just set. Don't worry about an initial climb. Leave all that. Leave all that. Pop that back on. APU bleed can come off. Packs are on. Everything on the overhead is as it should be. And then just check we've got all of these. We need to put the auto brake max signs. Need to come on. TO config checked. Right, okay. The plan will be to just take off and head towards that that waypoint. Hopefully we can hopefully we can salvage this. Let's see, shall we? Alright, fingers crossed. Toga. Why are we not moving? Have we got chocks on or something daft like that? Oh yeah, I can't move with those on. Right, parking brakes off. Let's try again. So this is the most unrealistic takeoff I think we've probably ever done in the channel. Let's just get airborne and continue our flight to Geneva, hopefully. So we've got thrust climb, open climb. And we'll set an intercept course. Put everything in standard for the time being. It's a very pretty island to take off from, though, isn't it? Oh. Well, why did it not save the linking of the altimeters? Never mind. Now, I don't know if I could slew my way up to 36,000 feet. What do we reckon? Think I could do that? I don't see why not. Let's see what happens. Close enough. We now got thrust climb, open climb, nav 360 blue. Overhead's good. Fuel looks decent. See what signs can come off. And no rat! Right, what's our estimated time of landing? I think we've lost about 15 minutes. Looking at that. That's not bad. We've added for around 15 minutes to our flight time. There we go. It's as if nothing ever happened. Alexander, have I not set up the stream, the thing at, oh, that's at the top. Yeah, well, that was the least of my worries, to be honest with you, mate. I'll have a little look at that now. There we go, that should be working again now for you. Right, so do we think we've managed to somehow rescue that? Bus driver, could you have slewed straight off the ground? Not without some sort of airspeed. I think you need some airspeed, otherwise it's really going to shout at you. Let me just put everything else back as it was. It means I've lost my brief. I went out using runway 04, so we needed to do a new brief anyway. Okay, should we do a new brief? Let me just go through my flight plan then. So, what are we doing for this new runway arrival? So the approach 404 is going to be the Kines to November arrival. Coming in over the terrain now as opposed to the Lake Geneva. So that essentially takes us, and we come in via Indies. A lot of it is exactly the same, which is quite a nice look. So 7,000 feet still our minimums. Our platform altitude, I think, as well for runway 04 is also 7,000 feet. Yes, indeed it is. Only difference will be that at our initial fix of Indies, I probably do want now flaps 2 and a slower speed. How many miles out is that? It's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, it's got it there actually. Trying to do the maths. 17.6 miles. It's still a long way out. Yeah, we could still do flaps 1, but perhaps a little bit slower. Maybe 200 knots, so I can pull flaps 2 instantly if I need it. Great stuff. Alright, so we're going to go ILS 4 now. Our star is the Kines to November. And that via is Indies. The only other thing I'm going to alter then, as I've just said, we'll leave, as ATC is online, we'll leave that discontinuity in there, but at Indies, just so my aircraft is aware, I want to be a little bit slower. Good stuff. So flight plan plays is done. Let's pop the pop it off Sierra VOR in there now instead. So that is the VOR which forms part of the actual approach for runway 04. We're going up to flight level 360. Let's go ahead and just change this. We'll fill out the new ATIS information. So wind 100 degrees 8 knots. QNH is 1013. I'll double check this a little bit later on as we get a little closer. But we're not far away now. New Barrow then is going to be 1617. Transition altitude still 130. VAT 130 2, clean speed 218. Estimated fuel on board now at Geneva is going to be 2.5 tons. That's a little bit lighter since we had to reset some things. But that's still okay. That's still within the limits. I just need to do another brief, which I'll do in a second. And the secondary flight plan, let's just copy our active flight plan. There we go. Right. The box is all set up. Let's come and have a look at our new brief. Get Navigraph on. Are we back on track now? We are. So we're back on track. Fingers crossed I'm not going to get in the way of anybody now. And we will reconnect back to VATSIM. Is TCAS on? Yes. Katie Zora, good afternoon. Okay, same chart, different approach. So, same plan really. I'm going to, at the top of the 10, dial in flight level 110 on the FCU. That'll keep us below the minimum safe altitude, above the minimum safe altitude anyway. And then as I approach Golf 502, I want to be green dot at this point, and then I want flaps 1. We'll be at 7,000 feet. Flaps 2 as we go down. We've got a headwind as well, so holding that speed whilst going down the glide slope at flaps 1 is going to be a little bit easier than it would have been on runway 2. And then we can vacate. This time around, we can vacate on Bravo. In fact, I think we'd also vacate on Charlie, if memory serves. Let me just have a quick look at that arrival list. Where was it? Yeah, Charlie. We'll use auto brake medium. Sorry, auto brake low. Done. Hey, RLS, good to have you on board. Roy says, I'm glad these things happen sometimes. It helps us all out when we have crashed the desktops too. Yeah, it's not great, is it, trying to quickly sort things out, but we are pretty much now as you were. New brief done. And we're, I think, overall flight time, we lost around 15 minutes. So it's fine. It's fine. We're in as good a shape as we could have been. But we're now all done. Tom, we did crash the desktop, respawn an airport, and slewed up. But we slewed up after setting up the box and taking off, so we'd at least got some airspeed. But fingers crossed, everything is now working. In fact, we're about 100 miles away from our top of descent. So we're indeed back on it. Hey Gav, good evening to you. How you doing? Good to have you on board. Raz of Music says you wish the Fenix would provide real world ATIS when VATSIM ATIS isn't available. The problem is, where's it going to get it from? drink's nice and cold. Need it on a day like today. I think it's about 25, 26 degrees in the shade outside. Those clouds look great, don't they? Lots of different layers showing there. So guys, thanks for sticking with me whilst we sorted out that random crash to desktop. If you're enjoying the flight so far and you haven't done so already, please do hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe. We're getting closer and closer to 25,000. We are at actually 24,934. So we really are getting close. Guys, this is really good, mate. Another awesome stream to watch. Thanks to you. Well, just omit the last sort of 20 minutes when we had the crash to desktop and we're resetting up. Simon says, what's the delay code for a crash to desktop? But you know, I think there is one. There, have a quick look. Loading error, system reset, status message / new defect. Oh, there you go, simulator restart. There you go. Gav says your wife's a sub. We don't need to know about that. And Simon says, a nice chilled out stream whilst working from home today. I mean, that's it, isn't it? So many more people now are working from home. Top of descent should be in about 11 minutes. A little bumpy now as we head over the terrain down below. Looks great though, doesn't it? I wonder if we're going to encounter any of those rain showers as we get in. Bus driver says it would be useful if someone could make like a recovery app that would allow a restart from the exact location altitude after a CTD. Not just the exact location altitude, but also all the box, all the EFBs, all the FCUs, everything snapshot saved, and then you press reload and bang, there you are again. Every aircraft, I imagine, would be kind of different. So it would almost take the actual aircraft developers themselves to come up with something like that that would work. And I imagine that would probably be a lot of work to try and get done. Once again though, the weather seems to be reflecting what we had on the charts. Oh, some gorgeous views there now, as we start to see the Alps. Gav says if every subscriber asked one family member to subscribe, we'd hit 50k. That's true. Just ask all your kids. Just ask your kids to subscribe, then bang, we're there. Maybe I could turn pro. Oh! Self-loading cargo's just reinitiated itself. All the passengers have just realised that they've been stuck in suspended animation and have now reappeared several miles away from their last point. Hence the screaming.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. If you could please
No, I
return
haven't.
to your seat and ensure that your seatbelt is securely fastened. If you are traveling with an infant, please ensure that they are secured safely using the infant seatbelt harness provided. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the seatbelt sign has now been turned off. You are now free to move around the cabin and the toilets are now available. However, when in your seat, we recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times in case of unexpected turbulence. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
And RLS Print Design says, had a wonderful Father's Day flying the Spitfire around the Mac Loop in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Has anyone tried taking off in it? It's nearly impossible. Give you a 320 every day. I haven't actually. Bus Driver on Twitch says, maybe not a recovery app, but perhaps something that auto saves every so often. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I mean, they're all good ideas. Anything that can help reset yourself after a crash to desktop. And RLS also says, I've been trying to watch live traffic at Gatwick, but it seems to be an hour behind. Is there any way to set the time in Microsoft Flight Sim? That's just the nature of the live traffic, RLS. Nothing you can do about that. Doesn't matter what time you've got set in the simulator, live traffic will be live traffic. So here comes the turbulence then as we head over the Alps. God, it looks good though, doesn't it? Right, top of descent is in around 45 miles. We'll see if we can get ourselves in. So ATC then, let's have a quick check what we've got. We've got both tower and ground are available, so tower's 1187. Enter destination data, didn't we do that already? Let's have a quick check. Oh, we've not got the temperature in. Temperature is 24. And after we've been on tower frequency, which is 1187, we're going to then switch over to ground, which is 121.85. Paul says he's back in time for landing. Paul, you've no idea what you've missed. Ray, how do you find out what air traffic control is available? So in your vPilot VATSIM client, it will tell you what's available. Tom's in finals on Geneva. See us on the ground. Nick says on Twitch, you can use Volanta and PMDG 737 to autosave at the moment. Works quite well apparently. Something of Boeing works quite well. Loving the snow-capped mountains. So the wind is going to be quite variable on approach. So we'll keep an eye on that as we come down. Makes the landings a little more exciting, doesn't it? Maybe not for me, but for you. It is indeed getting a bit choppy. Roy, no, FS Realistic is not currently installed on the new rig just yet. One of the things left to install. Just looking at the fuel that we've now got, or rather not got. We would have one more, we'd have enough fuel for one more go to get back into Geneva. I mean, there's no real reason we shouldn't get into Geneva, the weather's not that bad or anything daft like that, but it's just worth saying that we'd have enough fuel for one more go. Are there any VR plans? No. No. I think VR is fine if you're using it, you know, as a single user on your own, but using it to stream with, I think, is yeah, I don't see how that would work too well. So I'm looking as I would be sort of looking around like this in my camera sort of thing, then that obviously would be fine for me, but for you, probably make you feel a bit sick. For example, now I've just switched on the Tobii eye tracker, so that's what I'm using at the minute, which is where those camera movements have come from. Right, so we're now just coming up on the top of descent, as we can see. There it is. So let's descend then. Flight level 11, as briefed. We've got thrust climb, descent, flight level 110 blue. Down we go. Tom says not a very good landing at all. Wind was horrible when you went flying off the runway. Tom, that doesn't sound good. There's no crosswind though, Tom. Mind you, winds are variable, but they're not too strong. Hopefully we'll be okay. Nick says, ooh, missed that. Tobii eye tracker, any good? There will be a video, Nick. So, stay tuned. So as I was talking about a little bit earlier on the stream, when I was saying about sometimes you have to feel like you're forcing the aircraft down a little bit, and it doesn't feel right on a 2D screen. At the moment, do you feel like you look at this and you think, well, I'm pitched down? You know, oh, not now, it's just pulled back up to stay on profile. But it looked then like I was pitched down, but just look down here at the PFD. We're not, we're pitched up. We're now pitched slightly down, but that's level. So that's where sometimes the visual representation is a little. The visual representation is is quite false on a 2D screen. Oh, Gav, mate, thank you for your $5 super chat. I hope you've had a great day as well. It's nearly Friday for you, isn't it? Of course, we've still got another working day to get ourselves through here in the UK. But Gav, thank you so much for that continued support. That's really generous of you. Doctor on board, good afternoon to you. Have I got a go-round track here? Just have a quick look. Oh yeah, there it is. That's fine. It's because I'd not scrolled through far enough to see it. Paul says it's nearly 11:30. See, that's a nice time to watch a stream, isn't it? We'll land and then it'll be bedtime, straight off to the hotel. So at the moment, profile looks good. Keeping nicely on track. Some VATSIM traffic. A bit bumpy. So it's probably only going to get bumpier as we get down, so maybe we'll go ahead and pop those seatbelt signs on. So let's run our approach checklist. So our approach briefing is complete, seatbelt signs are on, minimums are 1617 set, engine motor selector is normal, and of course we'll stow the FB. It is rather spectacular, isn't it? One threat that I should have mentioned, and this is no real world threat, but the monitor that I'm actually using for simming is on the blink, and it keeps going. It just occasionally just keeps popping in and out. I really don't want that to happen while we're landing. And there seems to be no right or reason to it. I think the power supply is on its way out. Either the power supply or the actual monitor. I have got another monitor next to it, which is the exact same, so I'm going to try swapping the power supplies over. At worst then, I lose the chat, rather than anything else. So our first speed constraint is at Bivlo, which is all the way around here, is 250 knots. What's that company message? Is that an old one? Because we had to restart the sim. Oh yeah, just yelling at us for being late again. So we'll pop the local QNH 1013 onto the standby. And there we can see in front of us Lake Geneva. Sadly we're not going to be flying around that one, we're taking the different approach now. Looks like there are the thunderstorms and cumulus clouds that are predicted for later on in the day haven't yet materialised. We're going to be in enough early enough before they build. Geneva's always a great scenic approach to come into on though, isn't it? We've done Geneva a lot. I make no apologies for that. It's a great airport, there's lots to consider, and it just looks good. Right, oh mate, thank you so much for your $5 Australian super chat saying great work. I mean stream as always, as always, Gav. Thanks, Roy. Really appreciate that. Very, very kind of you. And hope you've had a great flight with us, despite the little interruption mid-flight. See what the Red Wing Geneva scenery looks like as well with the higher settings. We've not we'll have not seen those. Now I've just realised that it's only Geneva Tower that's online, it's not Geneva Control, so I am going to go in and clear that discontinuity, or rather the manual leg. Just let that recalculate a few things. And because of that, it thought we were below the profile, so it's just slowed us down a little bit. Not too much. Geneva traffic top Swiss 1350 is 8 miles inbound Souvel on the Kines to November arrival for runway 04. 160. Flight level 160. Just a random 160 there. Not that doesn't help anybody. Now remembering, of course, airfield elevation is 1,365 feet, so we're obviously closer to the ground than we think. Some gorgeous views ahead of us, and there's the airport. The sea straight ahead of us. Looks like there's no clouds in our way either, so we're going to have great views coming in. What is that? Okay, that's to go to our alternate. Fair enough. Random thing at the top of the navigation display. Alright, as we'll level out. I don't know if the guys at the back can see the airport. There it is. Oh, what a view. How great does that look? Might screenshot that as the thumbnail. Aircraft taken off as well, it seems. Right, let's start getting ourselves sorted. Do I want to activate the approach phase just yet? Yeah, we can do, and then we can start slowing ourselves down. We're going to get ourselves down to 7,000 feet. Then we'll pop that into thrust idle, open descent.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. If you could please return to your seats and ensure that your seatbelt is securely fastened. If you are traveling with an infant, please ensure that they are secured safely using the instant seatbelt harness provided. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
Right, passing 10,000 feet. We've got our QNH sorted. Let's get tower frequency on. Oh, I say I've got QNH sorted. There we are. Let's get the tower frequency on. I'll put up the ground on standby. 121.
The Foxtrot Kilo, negative hold position. There's one arrival, system 120 on short final, runway 04.
Copy that, okay.
And we want to be 7,000 feet in this, so we can now actually use VS speed just to help with that, using our level off arrow. Okay, pop that into manage speed, start slowing to green dot. We'll contact tower once we're on, once we're established on the ILS. I think Geneva has to be one of my favourite airports to fly into visually. Alright, I'm happy to hold 200 knots and we'll start configuring config 1 in a second, as per our brief a little bit earlier.
Is vacating the runway.
Whiskey 3755, contact 8.12 on decimal 85. Bye-bye.
Contact 8 on Whiskey 3755. Bye bye.
Delta Foxtrot Kilo, line up and wait, runway 04, report your intention.
Copy that. Line up and wait 104. Delta Foxtrot Kilo.
So we're about 18 miles out. We can just still see the airport there. Do we actually fly through that little gap in the terrain? That's quite handy if that is the case. Obviously we're nowhere near it. Lock blue. Lock star. Not picked up the glide slope just yet. So just hold off configuring for the second. We're going to be too high actually. We do need to get down. 6,000 feet at P0. Oh, there's our glide slope. Flaps 1, speeds checked. Flaps 1.
Delta Foxtrot Kilo, wind is calm, runway 04 cleared for takeoff. Join left-hand traffic circuit.
And this is fine, we'll catch it with the glide slope, no problem.
Takeoff, and we will be doing a touch and go for 04, okay? Left hand.
Tower top space 1350 is established. Runway 0414 miles.
Top Swiss 1350, Geneva Tower, good afternoon. Continue approach, you number 1.
Continue approach top space 1350. Okay, I'm not catching that glide slope up as quickly as I would have liked. It's getting there. Let's give it a helping hand, shall we? So, glide slope from above. Gear down. Flaps 2. Speed check, flaps 2. Glide slope capture from above procedure.
Is 1350, wind 050 degrees, 6 knots, runway 04, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 04, top space 1350.
All stations, Geneva Tower has now to close, sadly, but I hope to see you soon again. White Unicom 12.8, bye-bye.
Glide slope star, 7,000 feet, missed approach altitude set. Manage speed. Flaps 3, speeds checked. Flaps full. Landing checklist.
Delta Foxtrot Kilo, we will be turning left base.
Cabin is secured. Auto thrust. Speed. Go around altitude. 7,000. Set. Eco memo. Landing no blue. The traffic coming towards me concerns me greatly. traffic still on the tower frequency for Geneva. Topswiss 1350 is final is runway 3, runway 04. Correction, runway 04, 3 mile final.
Copy that. Just a Foxtrot Kilo extending downwind for 04.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't be. Right, so we're just gonna continue to push that nose into the ground a little bit with that headwind.
500.
My approach is stable. Let's just try and get it back on that centre line a little bit. It is quite bumpy, isn't it?
100 above.
So if you look, I look like I'm driving the aircraft into the ground, but I'm still pitched up.
Minimum.
Continue.
$50, $40, $30, $20. Retard.
And spoilers deployed. Reverse green. $70 knots, reverses off.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties.
Oh,
However,
where are you going?
We ask that you remain seated
Straight would
until
be
the
good.
fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls or internet access may now be used. Please make sure that you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat and in the overhead lockers. Do take care when opening the lockers in case anything falls out. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your Easyjet journey. For the latest news, promotions, flight and destination information, check out our official Facebook page, Twitter or Easyjet app.
Geneva ground top Swiss 1350, vacated runway 04. Are they still online or have they gone off as well? Oh, they've gone off as well. Oh, right, in that case we're on our own. Paul says the scenery looks good. It does indeed look very, very good. Said I've not seen it before on these higher settings, so it was definitely nice to see. Right, we'll go and take... just grab the charts, but we can take the satellite stands at the end. Or actually, we can take the main terminal. Well, considering we had that little glitch midstream, I don't think we've done too badly. We're not going to concern ourselves over which stand we park at. We'll just go for the the easiest, I think. this will do. Stand 17. Just before I turn onto there, let's make sure we don't blind the ground crew. Actually, no, I've not started the APU yet. I'll let you into a little secret. Just after we landed, where's that aircraft come from? Just after we landed, that threat that I spoke about, my main monitor turning blank, it did indeed happen. So my I was literally controlling the aircraft through the preview display in Streamlabs, which is not the way to do it. But there you are. Alright, parking brake set. Is that APU up and running yet? No, not yet. Give it a second. Shouldn't be long. There we go. APU bleed. Engine 1 and 2 off. Seatbelt signs off. Beacon light go off, pumps off, and set the standby squawk. 2000. Done. Automatic connecting of the jet bridge, thanks to the Fenix aircraft. I will commence deboarding. Do we have any ground services waiting for us? No, I don't believe we do. Never mind. Oh, well. A little touch and go for a moment when we had the sim crash, but we restored it, we got there, and we're in Geneva safely with the with gorgeous weather and a gorgeous view as well. So guys, thanks so much to everyone who has donated, contributed during the flight today. I hope you have had a great morning or evening stream for those of you at the far side of the world. Thank you to Semis and Yuan who have just subscribed as well to the channel. Huge thank you to the Easyjet channel members as always for your continued support. Looking forward to chatting with you guys as always on the Discord server later on. I look forward to seeing you on the next live stream. That's me done for today. I will see you all again very, very soon. Have a great Thursday, guys, or of course, if you're in Australia, have a great sleep. Good night. Bye-bye.